And just like that, we've lost.
Bam!
Hi, everybody, and welcome into NFL Live. Trey Wingo here with Darren Woodson and Teddy Bruschi on a Football Friday, otherwise known around these here parts as
the day before.
So let's go. Let's get kicking with Week 11, started with the surest bet in the NFL this season, the Packers losing on the road. Packers were up 7-3 in the first in Seattle, and Aaron going to do his thing. This was the quintessential Aaron Rodgers player. Yep, no, you go there. Wait, someone's down there. I'm just going to heave it. Come on. And that's Tanyan makes his first career catch. Why so simple?
Guys, this is the type of play you look in the defensive meeting room the next day and just say, next play.
Yeah, how do we move on
Nothing
from
you
that?
can do about that. Dude.
So that's an 11-point lead, but here comes Seattle. Doug Baldwin, great catch from the Russell Wilson lob. His first TD and push-ups, surfing, I like it. It's now 14-10. 50 ticks to go in the half. Rodgers to Aaron Jones. Another one of them their plays, Woody.
And you're starting to see Aaron Jones really shine, not only in the running game, but as a receiver as well.
So the Packers were up 21-17 at the half. And then in the second half, the Seahawks said no. They could not get anything going. 3rd and 7, Devontae Adams, double cover. Next possession, it is 3rd and 10. You might want to avoid the 3rd and 10. Rodgers is sacked. Still in the third quarter. It is now 3rd and 3. Rodgers one more time. They draw this thing up, and he ain't got nowhere to go as the Packers are now up 24-20. So in the ensuing Seahawks possession after this one, is the sack, and that leads to the Mason Crosby field goal to put them up 24-20. So they got at least 3 points, but their offense was really stymied in the second half. And then it's what we like to call winning time. As you can see, fourth quarter, under 8 minutes to play. 3rd and 3, Russell with great protection. How about the running back picking up the blitzer in the blocking game right there? Tyler Lockett for 18. First down at midfield. Very next play, little play fake. Russell again with time, looking deep, and that's a nice catch by Tyler
They should have challenged that one, Trey.
Yeah, they should have
challenged it because I thought it rolled around a little bit.
But you know the way it is in the NFL this year, everything's a catch. It's like we did it so bad for the last 5 years. You get a catch. You get a catch. Then 3rd and 9, Ed Dixon, and that would be your game winner as the Seahawks come back to win 27-24. Aaron is not happy.
Any hope left for this season?
Come on, Rob. What kind of question is that? Come on, man.
Can't win on the road. What do you able to do?
I don't even know how to answer that, Rob. I mean, come on, what am I supposed to say? Of course there's hope. Of course we believe in each other. You know, just got to take one galvanizing moment. So whether that's a speech or practice or something happens in the game, something's got to get this thing going. I thought we had moments tonight where that was the way we were going. But guys battled. So, I mean, nobody gave up hope. You know, we just didn't play well enough when we had to play well enough.
By the way, that was our intrepid Packers reporter, Rob Domofsky. Season over. I mean, you can't win on the road. Rob, you sounded more depressed than Aaron did. Here's the NFC playoff picture. Seahawks and Packers still on the outside looking in, but the Seahawks put themselves in a much better position, according to our FPI. With Thursday's win, the Seahawks have seen their chances jump from 30% to 41%, while the loss dropped the Packers from 43% to 31% to make the playoffs. All right, guys, Aaron Rodgers says there's still hope. Is there still hope for Green Bay?
You got hope for him?
I don't have any hope for them. Listen, I think they're playing in a tough division. Chicago Bears are a much better football team. They'll see the Minnesota Vikings, and what you say in about 10 days? Yeah, they'll see them in about 10 days. And the Minnesota Vikings are a team that tied them in Green Bay. They got them at home the next time around. I like what I see as far as the future for Green Bay because they're young in the secondary. They got some good young talent, Aaron Jones, and what's this kid's name, Frackle? You got a future in these young guys, but this year is not the year. I think moving forward, yes, they will have a good football club.
I disagree. There's a chance. There's a chance for these. I mean, Aaron Rodgers talked about the galvanizing moment. The galvanizing moment is going to be in 10 days when they play in Minnesota versus the Vikings. Now, they get that one done, and then that's when you get that sort of moment where your team believes, like, we still got a chance to do this. But if they lose in 10 days, that's when you start to think, in my opinion. So I'm going to give them one more week of life. All right. I'm going to give them 10 more days of life to possibly make a run.
How many away games have they won this year?
0. They're 0-5. Last time they started 0-5 on the road in 1979. But is there one guy?
Galvanizing moment.
Yeah, there you go. Is there one person in that division you fear more than Aaron Rodgers and what he can do?
No, absolutely
not. We don't know what Mitchell Trubisky's going to be in big moments. The Vikings haven't been as good as they were a year ago.
No, that's true. That is true. You figure like Aaron Rodgers is going to be the guy at some point that's going to carry the day. Right. I felt like Aaron Rodgers could have carried the day yesterday, but they ended up going 2 for 7 on third downs. He didn't play. I mean, they didn't play that well offensively in the second half to win games and close out games. Yeah. And that's what it takes in this division. You're going to have to at some point close out games, and they didn't do it.
Play calling a question mark here. I mean, they only ran it 11 times, and it was a one-possession game for most of this contest.
I think you could have used Aaron Jones a lot more in this game. And you're not only utilizing him in the running game, but the dump-off game. And there were some looks at the end of this game. When you're watching this game, the looks that Aaron Rodgers had on the outside, he had one-on-one coverage. He usually takes advantage of it. They did not take advantage of it, and then he made the bad throw at the end to close it out. So, it just speaks volumes to this team. They play pretty good at home. Get on the road. They don't close the game.
Then look at the 4th and 2.
Yep.
4th and 2. Did you go for it there?
What would you have done?
I would have went for it there. Okay. I mean, in the situation where you don't get it, and then Seattle is still, I believe, would be in the same conservative mode of trying to take off time off the clock, running the football. You only got one timeout left. You still do have the 2-minute warning, but you stop them there, force them to a field goal attempt if you don't make it, and then you're down by 6.
Right.
So then you still got a chance to score. It's a one-score game, so I thought that was a chance to win it there on 4th and 2.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy said we went with the numbers, which was punting. The number you trust is 12. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Trust 12 when all is said and done. Seattle. Do we believe in Seattle?
Well, I don't believe in Seattle like I do the other teams in the NFC.
Right.
I mean, they don't have an offense that makes my head spin like New Orleans does. They don't have defensive players like an Aaron Donald that can finish and is the best in the business. Although Bobby Wagner, I have a lot of respect for him as a linebacker, but they don't scare me like a Rams, like a Saints. They're one of those teams that can grind it out, type of run the football, and I just think to run the football and have that type of scheme, your defense has to be more dominant. They just don't have the dominant defense anymore. They can make plays, yes, but they can't be what they were in the past.
They scare me as a wild card team. Okay. And the reason why is they figured out what their identity is.
Right.
They know who they are. They want to run the ball at you. They want to get back to that old beast mode type of running game. They have 2 really good backs in Penny and Carson. And they're a team that they get you in the 4th quarter with Russell Wilson. Anything can happen, and we continuously see this. Even you ask the Los Angeles Rams, and they'll tell you, look, 2 games against this Seattle Seahawks team,
7 points, I think,
and it's been physical. They play hard. They're an experienced football team. They've been there before. So, do I think they'll go far in the playoffs? No, but they're a team that scares me early on.
They're going to have to win away from the 12s too.
Correct.
Away from that.
And according to FPI, the Seahawks actually have the 5th easiest remaining strength of schedule. So, see if they can take advantage of that. All right, we got lots more to talk to, including what else is going to go on Sunday in Week 11 in the NFL. Huge game for the Bengals and Ravens. Question marks for Baltimore quarterback. Joe Flacco sat out in practice this week with a hip injury. Lamar Jackson dealing with a tummy issue. Stephon, Bell, more on that later. Vikings and Bears battle for NFC North supremacy. Minnesota unbeaten in its last 7 division games. Chicago seeking consecutive division wins in the same season for the first time since 2012. 2 teams who almost met for the NFC title last year. The 4-5 Eagles have the hardest remaining strength of schedule according to the FBI, and the Saints are rolling, baby, have won 8 straight after dropping Week 1. So for more on some of these issues, let's bring in Hall of Famer Steve Young. You, of course, know him as the cupbearer of Clapboard Ridge. Steve, what needs to change?
It up now. That's
Come on, baby. Give it up. What needs to change?
A road.
It is a road, Clapper. We went to the same town, the same high school. He forgot everything as soon as he went to he got soft in Palo Alto.
S-word.
All right, here we go. What needs to change for Carson Wentz and the Eagles to turn it around?
I think some of it's just your self-image, Look, they see the Saints running away, the Rams running away, and how can we keep up with them? And I think sometimes Carson Wentz overreacts and tries to do too much. Look, Doug Peterson, the head coach, is going to give Carson chances to, easy layups and just take them and be consistent and get in the red zone and then be the artist. It's like make the commodity work between the 30s. Doug's going to make that easy for you. We'll make that happen. You got Jeffries, you got Ertz, you got Tate, you got plenty of guys. And then down inside the red zone, make those big plays that are 7 versus 3. If you kick field goals, you're going to get beat by the Saints. If you don't, but I think more of it's just, I think there might be a little bit more overwrought because they're supposed to be Super Bowl champs. What's happening? And people are running away from them. And I think they're overthinking it. Just do your job. Doug's going to make it okay, and then make big plays in the red zone.
All right, Steve Young, the rapscallion from Riverside. We'll talk with you a little bit later.
And I know that one. I know that.
That's because that's an actual town. It's not a road. We'll get Steve straightened out eventually. All right, Darren, the Eagles are struggling, but head coach Doug Peterson said this week they're very close. Of course, Tiger said that for 4 years before he actually won again. Yeah. What needs to click?
It's a running game. It's what they did last year was they ran the ball successfully. They gave you some 3, 5, 6 yards here, and it set up the play-action pass game for this team. This year, they're not consistent. They're not consistent because they've had so many injuries at the running back position. They're not moving the chains on early downs, and the play-action pass and the threat that Carson Wentz has had in the past with that play-action coming off the running game is not there. So they're not balanced on offense. And that's the problem with this football team. They like to get guys in space. And I think the one guy that really hurts this team is Darren Sproles. The absence of Darren Sproles not being there, being able to dump the ball out, allowing him to move the chains, that's what you need out of your running backs, and they just don't have it right now.
And again, hurt for the second straight year. On the other side, you talk about balance on offense. Woo! The New Orleans Saints got all kinds of offense. As a defensive guy, is it tough to watch that tape?
Yeah, Trey, you don't know what's coming. Yeah. You don't know what Sean Payton's going to bring. They have a unique scheme, and they have unique players. And if there was one thing I'd start off when you're going up against this multi-look offense, it would be the screen game, because they have thousands of ways to get to this screen. Make a little jet sweep to Kamara, look to Kamara, make everyone think you're going back to him, and then come back. Now watch the little pancake block right there. They're physical up front. Ingram gets downfield. It's a touchdown on the screen game. You don't know who's going to get the screen. Then they bring in this kid named Taysom Hill in the red area sometimes. You think it's going to be a power run game, right? Coming right at you. Here it comes, backwards downhill. Here we go. Nope, pop pass. This was incomplete. It's incomplete, but it's the jump pass. I don't want to watch film of these guys. I get a headache. Then there's Kamara, the most unique of them all. He can run an angle route at the slot. He can give you the jet sweep, which they handed it off to him earlier in the game. You fake it to him. Wait a second. Now it's the screen coming back, right? No. Now they give it to him on a little bubble screen. 2 people leading out the way. And what this isn't a quick little 3-yard gain. This is a nice, easy, I haven't even been touched, 10 to 12 yards. What are you going to do? Yeah. I don't know. Defensively, when there's certain places you want to take away, there's certain players you want to take away, but the scheme with it, it's almost like just a cauldron of everything that's bubbling and cooking, and you have to almost guess, and you don't win when you guess what play it's going to be.
By the way, that was Taysom Hill also blocking on that little screen, which was incredible. Here's the problem for the Eagles, right? They're 4-0 when they hold the opposition to 21 points or less. They're 0-5 when they give up more than 21. Eagles are facing a team, the Saints, that averages almost 37 points a game. Yeah. Who do we got?
I'm going to take the Saints in this one.
I'm surprised.
I'm so surprised. You heard what I said about that offense, right? I still got a headache talking about them. So I'm going to take this Saints team. I just think they're going to get a lot done. Offensively, great, but they've got a secondary that's making plays too. Lattimore, watch him to make a play.
Yeah, I'm going with the Saints as well. And I think it's Drew Brees to Michael Thomas to me. These guys are working in tandem, and there's no one on earth that can cover Michael Thomas right now.
Drew Brees is completing 97% of his passes, or something close to that. Coming up with the Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco on the injury report, is it Lamar Jackson's time to shine in Baltimore? We'll find out. Plus, we got us another Friday, so that means another tape-off. But this time, Teddy and Darren step out of the ring and into the world of Fortnite.